Dear students, in this class, we are going to see the concept of the power radiated by an alternating current element. Already in the last class, we have seen the fields of this current element, both electric fields and magnetic fields. And if you want to calculate the power radiated by this current element, then definitely you have to use your power pointing theorem to calculate. Now, let me explain very clearly. Once again, you take your alternating current element ideal cos omega t at the center of the spherical coordinate system. And I am observing the fields of an antenna at a point P. We concluded that there are three fields of this antenna. One is in R direction, ER, and in theta direction, E theta, and the magnetic field is in phi direction. Once these three fields are actually available, then definitely you can calculate the power radiated by this element by using the power pointing theorem. You know very well the power pointing vector P bar is equal to E bar cross H bar. This is the power pointing vector. So if you take the cross product of electric field and magnetic field, you are going to calculate the power here. But here, if you see here, there are two electric fields and one magnetic field. So if you take ER cross H phi, the power will be in theta direction. So you can say that P theta is equal to minus ER cross H phi. So minus ER into H phi. So if you take the power in R direction, then PR is equal to, you can say, E theta into H phi. So these are the expressions you are going to use. The power, here the power is in theta direction and here the power is in radial direction. That means in the R direction. So if you want to calculate these two powers, then definitely you have to take the expressions of ER, E theta and H phi. So the expressions for ER, E theta and H phi are readily available here. Already we have seen these expressions in the last class. Now if you want to have this power P theta, then P theta is equal to minus ER into H phi. So why it is minus? Because as it is a circular coordinate system, actually it should be R, theta and phi, but the sequence has changed here. That's why the power is negative here. So if you want to have this power P theta is equal to minus ER into H phi, then very simple, just multiply ER and H phi which are available here. So ER equation is nothing but number 1 equation and number 2 and number 3. So you try to multiply ER and H phi and write down the equation here. So what is the equation then? P theta is equal to, then I can say P theta is equal to multiplication of these two, ER into H phi. So 2 I into means I square dl square sin theta cos theta divided by 16 pi square epsilon. So I am multiplying here 2 into I square dl square sin theta cos theta divided by 16 pi square into epsilon. 16 pi square into epsilon into, so you can say 2 sin theta cos theta, later we can write down sin 2 theta also. Okay, right. Now if you multiply these two, and one more thing I would like to tell you here, what is T dash? T dash is equal to T minus R by V. It is nothing but a delayed time. That's why these potentials are called as delayed potential here. So if you multiply these two, then you are going to get cos omega t into R square V into this thing. So you can say minus omega sin omega t dash divided by RV into cos omega t dash divided by R square V. And one more term, this is minus omega sin omega t dash divided by RV into sin omega t dash by omega r cube. That means sin square omega t square omega r cube. And the next one is, it is Second one is cos square omega t dash by r to the power of 4 into v plus cos square omega t dash by r to the power of 4 into v, r to the power of 4 into v plus cos omega t dash sin omega t dash divided by plus cos omega t dash into sin omega t dash divided by the multiplication of these two, r square into r cube. So, omega into r to the power of 5. This is r to the power of 5. Simple. Just I have multiplied the equation 1 and 3, you got it here. Now, if you take this trigonometrical equations here, sin omega t dash, cos omega t dash, sin theta, cos theta means you can write down sin 2 theta. And here you can say that this is omega and omega also will be cancelled. And you can say this is cos square omega t. And here also you can write down cos omega t dash into sin omega t dash by omega into r to the power of 5. Now, I would like to tell you here, what is V? V means the velocity of electromagnetic wave. What is the velocity of electromagnetic wave in free space? It is nothing but the light velocity. So, that is why I can substitute here V is nothing but the c, that is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meters per second. Meters per second. Now, very simple, you can simplify this and you can write the straight away the equation here using this formula sin 2 theta is equal to 2 sin theta cos theta. And here also you can write down 2 sin theta cos theta means sin 2 theta. So, I can write down here p theta is equal to, I can simplify like this, p theta is equal to, so sin 2 theta I square dl square sin 2 theta divided by sin 2 theta divided by 16 pi square into epsilon into, you can say that is minus omega sin omega 2 dash into this thing. So, you can say that minus omega sin 2 omega t dash divided by 2 into r cube into v square, 2 r cube into v square, and the next one is minus sin square omega t dash minus sin square omega t dash divided by r into v into r to the power of 4, r to the power of 4 into v, and then plus cos square omega t dash, cos square omega t dash divided by r to the power of 4 into v plus sin 2 omega t dash, sin 2 omega t dash divided by, you can say 2 omega r to the power of 5. So, this is the equation you got it here. So, you got sin 2 omega t here and this is also the same thing. So, now this equation and this equation is also can be written as cos square theta minus sin square theta divided by same parameter, that is also cos 2 theta. So, you can write down here this is equal to I square dl square sin 2 theta divided by 16 pi square into epsilon into minus omega sin 2 omega t dash divided by 2 r cube into v square minus, this is cos square theta minus sin square theta cos 2 theta. So, plus cos 2 omega t dash divided by r to the power of 4 into v plus sin 2 omega t dash divided by 2 omega r to the power of 5. This is the expression. Now, if you observe closely, then I already told you one substitution also. Here what is V? V is nothing but the light velocity. So, in the place of V square I can write down c square, and in the place of V it is c, and it is 2 omega r to the power of 5. So, if you take each and every term here, you got cos 2 theta or sin 2 theta. But I require the average power. So, if you want to calculate this average power P theta, average means you are averaging this power for over one cycle is equal to, what is the average value of sin 2 theta? or cos 2 theta or sin 2 theta? Simply we can say from elementary mathematics it is equal to 0. Then this entire term will be equal to 0. So immediately you can say the power in theta direction, the average power in theta direction is equal to 0. That means if you take this antenna and this is nothing but an antenna current element, what is the power in theta direction? In this direction there is no power at all. So definitely this power is equal to 0. That's why no need to calculate this power. So whenever you are taking this alternating current element, power always will be in which direction? Radial direction. Because this equation is telling the average power in theta direction is equal to 0. So that's the reason I would like to calculate one more power now. That power is nothing but your radial power. What is the radial power? Radial power is equal to, you can say, E theta multiplied by H phi. So let us calculate this radiated power now. Just now we have seen the power in theta direction, that is equal to 0. Now one more power is existing here, that is the radial power, power in r direction, that is equal to multiplication of E theta and H phi. The expression for E theta and H phi are readily available. So second and third equation, just multiply them to get the power in the radial direction. So if you multiply these two, second equation, third equation, then you are going to get like this. So if you see this equation, you are always getting sin square theta, sin 2 theta or cos 2 theta. Like this you are going to get so many terms here. Now I would like to just simplify this, and here omega and omega will be cancelled. Now I am simplifying this. Power in the radial direction PR is equal to I square dl square sin square theta divided by 16 pi square into epsilon multiplied by, I want to just simplify this from the last term. Here you see sin omega t dash cos omega t, sin theta cos theta, sin 2 theta by 2. So you can say that this is sin 2 omega t dash divided by 2 omega r to the power of 5. And if you see these two expressions here, cos square theta minus sin square theta means cos theta, cos 2 theta, cos into 2 omega t dash divided by r to the power of 4 into the velocity means light velocity is c, plus if you take this is sin omega t dash cos omega t dash, it is also minus omega by 2 sin 2 omega t dash divided by 2 into r cube c square, and this one is also sin 2 theta, that is minus omega sin 2 omega t dash divided by 2r cube into c square. And one more expression here, it is omega square plus omega square. And what is sin square omega t? I can say 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2, that is 1 minus cos 2 omega t dash divided by 2. So 2r square into c cube. This is the expression you got here, this is. Now simply you can say, by seeing each and every term, once again I would like to take the PR average. So radial power, that to average I am calculating here. Now if you observe this equation very closely, the average value of the first term, second term, this term is equal to 0. Even cos 2 omega t dash is also equal to 0. Here, if you take the average of all these terms, because of the sin 2 theta, cos 2 theta, they are equal to 0. The only one term that is remaining, that is omega square divided by 2r square into c cube. So that's why the average power is equal to I square dl square sin square theta divided by 16 pi square into epsilon multiplied by that factor, that is omega square divided by 2r square into c cube. So this is the expression you got it. Just this can be simplified as, you can say that this is equal to ideal sin theta, omega ideal sin theta omega ideal sin theta divided by 4 pi RC whole square. So I am calculating this whole square. So the numerator is okay here. Omega square I square dl square sin square theta and 4 pi RC 16 pi square, and you can say that this is r square, and you can say this is c. C means light velocity. So here you are having c here, but what is remaining here? That is 1 by 2 into c. C means light velocity. So what is the velocity of electromagnetic wave? Here you are taking that c, and c I can write down here. This is equal to, if I take the light velocity, c is equal to 1 by root mu into epsilon, 1 by root mu epsilon. Then I can write down here, this is eta. Eta is equal to, I can say that, root of mu by epsilon, mu by epsilon. Because you can say that this is, here you are having epsilon here, this is also you are having epsilon, and c means you can say 1 by root mu epsilon, and if you calculate this here, you are going to get the value of eta here. Then happily you can write down here, PR average is equal to, I can say that eta by 2 into omega ideal sin theta divided by 4 pi RC whole square. This is the expression you got. This is watts per square meter. So here in the electromagnetic field theory, I told you what is eta. Eta means intrinsic impedance of the free space. Intrinsic impedance of the free space is root 2 by mu epsilon. So in the place of c, I can write down 1 over root mu epsilon here. Then you can substitute the eta value here. So it is very clear, PR average is equal to eta by 2 into omega ideal sin theta divided by 4 pi RC whole square watts per square meter. Then once you get this value, you got this average power, then I would like to calculate the total power of this antenna. This is the average radial power in the radial direction. Now let us take this entire spherical coordinate system here, and if you take a small strip in this sphere, I want to calculate the surface area of this small element here. So the surface area, if you understand this, this is making an angle theta. This is theta 1 and this is theta 2. So this is d theta. So its surface area is d theta. This one is d theta and this is r sin theta. So if you want to find out the surface area of this piece, that area is r square sin theta d theta. R d theta multiplied by r sin theta means r square sin theta d theta. This is the piece. So if you take this globe, if you are taking this one and you got only one piece here. So if you take this piece and it has to cover this entire 25 degrees, 2 pi radians. So this is the strip and you have to take like this. So it has to cover the entire sphere 2 pi like this. That's why it is to be multiplied with 2 pi. And the theta also will be ranging from 0 to pi, because in the spherical coordinate system, the limits of theta is 0, theta less than pi. And if you are taking the phi values, it will be in between 0 to 2 pi. So I told you very clearly, phi means it is nothing but covering this entire azimuthal angle. And if theta means it covers only pi. So if you, whatever the piece you are taking, it has to cover the 2 pi radians as well as from 0 to pi also. So if you want to find out the surface area of the sphere, this piece ds is equal to 2 pi multiplied by the multiplication of these two, r square sin theta d theta, sin theta d theta. Now I want to calculate the total power, because I know what is average power. What is the total power? Total power Pt is equal to, close surface integral of your average power dot ds, P average dot ds, that is called surface area. It is a closed surface integral. So if you take this total power expression Pt, that is equal to surface integral of, what is average power here? Average power is eta by 2 omega ideal sin theta divided by 4 pi RC whole square into ds. What is ds? ds is 2 pi r square, 2 pi r square sin theta d theta. This is the value, got it. Now, eta by 2 into omega ideal by 4 pi rc, all are constants here. So, take out the constants from this integration. Therefore, your pt is equal to, total power is equal to eta by 2 constant, and you can say omega square I square dl square divided by 4 pi square means 16 pi square into r square into c square into sin square theta into sin theta, sin cube theta into multiplied by 2 pi r square. Then you have to integrate sin cube theta into d theta. This is the expression, you got it. Simply, I have taken the constant outside of the integration, and simply you can say sin theta whole square is sin square theta multiplied by sin theta. So, it will be sin cube theta. Now, it is very simple. You have to evaluate this one. So, before going to evaluate, then you can simplify this. R square and R square will be cancelled. Then you can say 2 and 2 will be cancelled. And now it will be, this is equal to eta omega square I square dl square divided by 16 pi square c square, and pi also pi square, and this pi also will be cancelled. So, 16 pi c square into integral of sin cube theta into d theta. So, from the elementary mathematics, from your mathematical concepts, what is the value of the integral sin cube theta into d theta? This integration should be carried from which value? 0 to pi. This is 0 to pi, how to integrate. So, how to calculate this 0 to pi? Then you know very well. Integral 0 to pi sin cube theta d theta is also equal to 2 times integral 0 to pi by 2 sin cube theta d theta. Here, you know the general formula of integral of sin to the power of n theta in your mathematics. Now, if n is odd, then you can write down here it is equal to n minus 1 by n. Therefore, this value is equal to, what is the value of n? 3. 3 minus 1 by 3 into 2. 2 is also there. So, you can say its value is equal to 4 by 3. So, that's why I substitute the value here. Therefore, pt is equal to eta into omega square I square dl square divided by 16 pi c square multiplied by 4 by 3. The value of this integral 0 to pi sin cube theta d theta is equal to 4 by 3. Now, this will be 4 times, 4 into 3, 12 times. So, you can say that this is equal to eta omega square I square dl square divided by 12 pi c square. 12 pi c square. Now, if you take here, what is this I? I is nothing but the maximum current. So, if you want to calculate the power requires always the effective values. So, what do you mean by the effective value? You know the relation I maximum is equal to, so you can say I effective is equal to, effective value is equal to I by root 2. Therefore, in the place of I can write down root 2 into I effective. So, pt is equal to eta into, what is omega? Omega means 2 pi f whole square. 2 pi f whole square into, what is I? I means root 2 into I effective whole square into, then dl square divided by 12 pi c square. 12 pi c square. What is c? C means velocity. Velocity c is equal to v is equal to f lambda. C is equal to f lambda. So, I can say in the place of c, f lambda whole square means f square lambda square. Now, just to simplify this, pt is equal to, what is eta? Eta means intrinsic impedance of the free space. So, from our electromagnetic field theory, you know intrinsic impedance of the free space is equal to 120 pi, which is also equal to 377 ohms. Already I told in the EMF classes. So you can say here it is 120 pi. Okay. Then 2 pi f whole square, 4 into pi square into f square into root 2 whole square into 2 I square effective into dl square divided by 12 pi into f square into lambda square. So this is the way you have to do this problem. So 120 pi, so 12 pi, you can say that pi and pi will be cancelled and this will be 10 times here, and f square and f square will be cancelled, f square and f square will be cancelled. Then you can say this is 4 pi square. So you can say that in the case of, you can say that this is one more term is missing, this is dl square, you can say dl square. So if you do this 10 into 4 40, 40 into 2 80, 80 pi square. So I can say pt is equal to 80 pi square dl divided by lambda whole square into I square effective. So this is the formula we got for the power radiated by an alternating current element here. So if you observe closely here, power is equal to I square into something. This I square into something means that something is nothing but the resistance. What is the value of the resistance? 80 pi square dl by lambda whole square. Here what is dl? Length of an element, length of the current element, which is very, very small. Pt is equal to 80 pi square dl by lambda whole square into I square effective. So whatever that is remaining here, I can set the nothing but the radiation resistance. Therefore I can write down your Pt is equal to radiation resistance into I square effective value. This is, what is Rr? This Rr is 80 pi square dl by lambda whole square. So finally I can conclude the radiation resistance of an antenna is equal to 80 pi square dl by lambda whole square. So this is the expression for the radiation resistance of an antenna. So friends, in this class I told you two important things for you. Number one, the power radiated by an alternating current element, and this formula is applicable whenever the length of this antenna is very, very small. And this is the radiation resistance. So what do you mean by the radiation resistance? In the antenna parameters I told you, radiation resistance is the resistance that is responsible for transmission or reception of electromagnetic waves. Whatever the resistance of the antenna is not required, not important. Whatever that is useful for the radiation is much more important. So the radiation resistance Rr is equal to 80 pi square dl by lambda whole square. And most of the times you can expect the problems on this equation also. So finally I can say that if you want to calculate the power of an alternating current element, first of all you have to know the fields of this antenna. There are three fields in our antennas, ER, E theta and H phi. Then just apply your power pointing theorem, P is equal to E cross H. Then calculate the two powers, P theta and PR. P theta means in theta direction there is no power at all. Power is always will be coming in the radial direction only. This is the radial direction. There is no power in this theta direction. P theta is equal to 0. But whereas PR is existing, that PR is nothing but the radiated power. So initially we have calculated the average power. To calculate the total power, you have integrated from the limits 0 to pi. So if you simplify this equation, finally you got Pt is equal to 80 pi square dl by lambda whole square into Rr. I hope you understood this lecture very well.